Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the Bridge to Higher Consciousness Academy Live. Um, Take two. We figured it out, and we're here to share with you guys the purpose of the Academy, the vision, and to introduce to you a few of our instructors. And they'll take a moment to introduce themselves, explain their background, and what to expect from the Academy. And then at the end, we are going to do a Q&A. So I'm going to ask all of you guys out there, you're welcome to put comments if you like, but any questions that are going to be for the instructors, you could put their name and then question, and then we'll do that. You could do that at the end if you don't mind. And also stick around because those who do put comments and follow us on social media, whether it's on YouTube or on Facebook, I'm going to ask that you follow us, and I will be giving you guys a 55% off code so that you guys can take any of the courses, and it's going to be at a limited time. It will be basically till the end of this month. Okay, so let me start off. My name is Ruby Otto, and I'm also known as Light Messenger Ruby. I am the founder, owner, and one of the instructors at the Academy. The vision that I received with this Academy was to bring a platform together for people who are either new in their path with enlightenment or in the spiritual journey and are trying to get an idea of where to start and how to tap into their own energy, getting more information, just having something to start off with. And also it's for those who have been on this journey for so long, but are being led to try out different techniques, different modalities. And it's not only modalities that we're bringing through in this Academy, in the sense of the traditional, we're bringing new ones too. We're to the realization that with this ascension that humanity is experiencing at this time, the traditional modalities have been so brought us to here now, and it's helped us with this awakening. But we are also going through new traditions, new techniques, new modalities. And so this is what this platform is for. And it's not only going to just be, again, like I said, about modalities. I'm also going to have somebody speak to us even about like homestead living and living off the grid. Because at the end of the day, we're not here just to be spiritual or just to be human. We're here to integrate both the spirituality or the energetic side of us with our 3D side and our way of living. Even though not all of us are perfect, we are trying our best to be as honorable as we can with the earth. At the end of the day, we still have to live, to pay bills. So this is why we are trying to bring different things. Another thing that as well that we're bringing forth into the Academy is also even on how to run a business in this type of industry. When it comes to the holistic and the metaphysical, we have somebody that's going to be creating about brick and mortar and online. So just keep an eye out for our website and keep coming back and looking and seeing what the latest things are. And if anything, it would be great if you could register on the website, which is BHC Academy .new, as in this is brand new Zenler, and that's ZENLER.com. And you'll notice on our profile of our page, it'll actually have the website link on there as well. Just on there so that you could be updated with newsletters and finding out what's going to be coming through. So getting back to the vision, like I said, this is something that was really resonating deep in my heart a year ago, just a little bit over a year ago. And instead of me doing it just for my classes, and instead of me having to go and learn a modality that's out there to then teach it on my own website, my guides led me and said, people, there are people out there that they themselves aren't seeing, but they would be a blessing to other people. So I was so inspired, and I said, okay, this is great, but there's so many platforms out there. And the other thing was, I did not want to be one of these platforms that monopolizes the instructor's material. I want it to be a blessing for the students. I want it to be a blessing for the instructors too. So you'll notice on our website, if you go and see under instructors, if you go and click on one of their names, there will be either an email or a link or an Etsy link, a form of being able to contact them if you want to make use of their services outside of the actual pre-recorded classes that we're offering. So, like I said, trying to make it as win-win as possible. And the thing as well as we are going international, accessible by other countries. And in the new year, we are looking at getting in around. So this is something that we are really wanting to offer to the collective, necessarily just mirroring, but bringing through quality, bringing that are legitimate, not where you pay $15 on something and it's a 2-hour long course that has nothing to even do with what you pay for. And I'm talking out of experience. I had to do my little testing and trying out other ones to see what was out there. So today, I am so honored in having my 3 of the instructors of besides of the others that we have. They are currently building their courses, and but the 2 that are already up and running, and including mine. First one that we have is talk, but I will just introduce them briefly. The first is Yvette Araya Sunshine Owens, known as Faery Witch. She's right next to me. She's wonderful. And she's created a course called The Magical World of Fairies. And she is going to explain more of that to you. But what I can tell you is she does definitely bring in the folklore history and also brings in her experience. And it's amazing. Then the other individual that we have, our amazing instructor, is Morgen Drake. He's actually Wizard Morgen Drake, and he's created also a course on our platform, which is called Runes, the Elder Futhart format. But he also brings other information in general about runes. So his is, I tell you what, it felt like I was actually sitting down with a real academic course. It was really, really well done, well researched, well. And then the other gentleman that's going to be joining us is John Lavender Jr., also known as Black Bear. And his going to be coming out in September. And he's going to be working on presenting something about incorporating or understanding the similarities, or understanding the reality of energy, or you want to say reality, and physics and science. The proof of a lot of these things, that it's not just a woo-woo thing. It is it's part of our essence. It's who we are. So, without further ado, I want to have Wizard Morgan Drake to start first. And again, if you have questions for Morgan, by all means, keep them to the end. We really appreciate that. Morgan.
Hi. So yeah, my name's Morgan Drake, and I'm a wizard. I have a course on runes, as Ruby said, and I've been practicing magic for a decent amount of time. Well, like I've lost track, at least if you get this point. But yeah, what would you like me to talk about, Ruby?
Just first tell them your background, I guess, what the modalities that you use that you know, and then tell them about your course.
Yeah, okay. So I'm an omnist wizard. If you don't know what omnism is, it's a very open path. It respects all spiritual path or middle path. Omnists are usually like get together because we all have so many different ways of expressing our magicality. I was trained under a wizard, Merlin of Manitou. He owns Merlin's Realm in Old Colorado City. And trained me over 10 years ago, but I started learning directly from nature when I was a teenager, when I decided to crack out of my shell and my fear of learning. So some things I learned directly from nature, and then he kind of took up the role of teacher for me. And he let me explore whatever it was I wanted to learn, whatever it was that my heart called out to. Runes came to me pretty early on, and at first I resisted it. And they were very insistent, and they became a very, very important part of my magic. They can be used not only for divination, but also for manifestation. And they opened me up to learning more about animism, which is the most, that we know of, the most ancient spiritual path that we find worldwide in native traditions around the world. And that opened my mind, opened my eyes, and I try to bring that a little bit into the course. I more try to encourage people to learn directly from people who have either had a lot of direct interaction with animistic tribes, whether it's Europe or whatever. But my course is also, I try to present a lot of the history, because our ancestors, what they've written, through what they've left behind, and I see that as very important. So I do offer a very grounded historical perspective at first with the rune, and then I go into how spirituality and spiritual practices evolve over time, and that evolution is normal, it's natural, it's fine. And I kind of open the stage by like giving you examples, not only in the past, but in the present, of how people are using runes nowadays, and that is perfectly valid. So I think I covered everything.
That's brilliant. And maybe just briefly tell us the upcoming courses that you're looking at creating for us, which I'm very excited about.
Ooh, I have so many ideas flying in my head. I know that one course in particular that I see a lot of desire for is Egyptian magic. To be perfectly clear, actually the Egyptian pantheon, the ancient Egyptian pantheon, was the first pantheon I turned to when I became a pagan. And I wanted to learn directly from the sources, from the past that we have. And I actually started with the Old Kingdom, and I said, nah, spiritual practices evolve over time. So starting with the oldest and then working towards more contemporary practices seemed like the best way to go. So I started with Old Kingdom and what we had, and then learned Middle Kingdom and learned New Kingdom. And I had to pop back and forth between eras, but I never got past New Kingdom. I never felt I understood enough to move into the Greco-Egyptian period. I did dabble in learning about it a little bit, and there are some major differences. So when I do my course, I am going to be talking mostly about actual ancient Egyptian magic before Alexander the Great and the Ptolemaic dynasty. In fact, before the Persian invasion, which I believe, if I'm correct, that would have been the third intermediate period. So I'm focusing particularly in Old Kingdom, Middle Kingdom, and New Kingdom philosophies. And I'm going to be presenting, of course, just like I did with the rune class, the history and what we know of the practice. And of course, because we're in the modern day and most of us don't live along the Nile, how you can take those practices and apply them to where you are, whether it's in the city or in nature, wherever you happen to be. And because that's such a big topic, I'm probably going to start with simpler stuff. I always try to give people as much as I can in terms of personal practice that you can actually sit down and do. And that's a big thing with that. I have a few other ideas. I work with crystals, so thinking about doing a crystal course that is different from the norm. I have a different approach, and I encourage that you not take what one person or another person says as law, but to take what I have to teach and apply it to whatever your work with crystals is. It's not to say, oh, I'm right and those people are wrong. No. Just a new perspective on it. Hopefully new. And then another one I've been thinking of doing is absinthe rituals. I love working with absinthe in rituals specifically. It does have a ritual to it. And so that might be a little fun something. But those are the top three that I can think of that are funking around in my head. But starting with the Egyptian magic one, that's probably going to be my next course.
That's going to be cool. I'm very excited. And if anything, you're probably thinking of possibly doing, like, say, level 1 or level 2 or level 3.
Yeah, probably. Because like I said, there's a lot.
I mean, how you're led.
Yep. And how much information I have to offer. Because like with the rune course, I give sources. I actually offer in the rune course, for example, the rune poems that we know of. And I found as many as I could. And that is what we call in science a primary source. And I have so many primary sources for Egyptian stuff that I don't know that I could fit it all in the course. I may just give references to where you can go for your own reading. But I have so many books in physical copy and in digital copy that I probably have well over 50 sources that are specifically primary sources. And primary sources are direct translations of texts. So that's not someone saying, oh, and I think this is what this means. That's a secondary source. A primary source is, this is the text, this is the translation, this is what the translation says to the best of our knowledge. So I have a lot of sources.
So I just want to say, this is what I'm saying, what we're bringing to this academy. It was the same with Yvette. It's not just, oh, this is how you do it. If you want to, it's not like saying, well, here are the rules to this board game, go for it. You figure it out as you go on. No, we're bringing quality stuff. And with both of them, they're even referencing stuff where they get their knowledge from, or their material, whether it's their experience or what is a good source. If you want to learn more about this, read this book. There's a lot of recommendations, and you guys actually show them certain things on how to do it. And this is what makes me excited. This is not, I'm not trying to make this as an academic thing that's the the state of Colorado has to recognize it, and you have to have so many credits or whatever. I'm trying to bring quality material in and still make it affordable. So thank you. That was just a beautiful, like, you're just a beautiful example of that right now, just starting off with. Is there anything else you want to mention before we move on?
I can't think of anything.
All right, great. Well, hang on, because we know there's going to be questions. So thank you, Morgan. I appreciate that. So the next magical soul that we have here is, again, like I said, Yvette Araya Sunshine Owens, Forest Faery Witch. I met her some time ago and reconnected with her, and I just remember thinking, oh my gosh, I know there's fairies. I know that they're there, and just talking with her and understand, like, from what I got from her was just so much clarity and understanding that I just wasn't getting it from other places. Every time I heard something, it was more about the fear of fairies and being careful. You don't want to mess with the fairies and all that stuff. So when I started to speak with her and I saw her and I heard her experiences and how she explained from them explaining to her, it just blew my mind. And I said, no, that's it. You gotta bring the fairies to this academy, because people don't realize is they're playing a very big role with this ascension for this planet. They are protectors of Mother Earth, and Mother Earth is the one who's heading this healing for all humanity. And even though things seem chaotic, sometimes this is what we need to go through before we can start rectifying it, because you're not going to know what to rectify if you don't think anything is wrong, right? So without further ado, Yvette, thank you so much that you joined us tonight. And again, I'm so honored that you made a beautiful course.
Well, thank you for having me. And it all has its purpose. It all has its purpose. Like you were saying, she's learned plenty from my course already.
Yes.
The fairies are protectors of Mother Earth, and my goal and their main goal is to get the word out there of how important it is to start taking care of Mother Earth, because she's detrimental to all of us and all of our lives. Without her, we're screwed.
Yeah, we are.
I don't know how else to say it, but
yeah, right.
Yeah. So they play that very important role. Most people are not aware of that. Yeah.
I also realize that their role in not only like taking care of Mother Earth. I mean, especially, okay, let's not pollute. Let's be more conscious of our footprints, carbon footprints that we do. Other than that, one thing I realized, energetically, they bring an energy that helps with the frequencies of this earth. And this is something I learned. It's not of, hey, I want to get to know the fairies. Let's play around. How do we work with them? Let's do Yvette's course. No, this is understanding them. Explain a little bit, like an example of how they help with their frequencies.
For Mother Earth,
or in general, like how they can help us.
Well,
quite a broad question, right?
Yeah, it's
a very broad.
Well, what I would like to put out there is most people are afraid of the fairies. This is something I want to get out of the way first. Yes. Most people are afraid of the fairies or do not like them. Okay, I hear nothing but negative stories, whether it be folklore history or whether it be just somebody that I'm happy to cross paths with and I'm talking to for the day or whatever. It's always negative. It's always, oh, the fairies hide things. Oh, the fairies mess with my computers. Oh, the fairies steal babies and replace changelings. So, first of all, I would like to explain that I speak with the fairies. I connect with them in a way that a lot of people are not able to connect with them. So when I'm telling you these things, it's from experience. It's from my own experience in this life and my other lives, every single life that I've been in. When people say, so for example, people say that they mess with their computers. That's why they don't like the fairies. Okay. But the only times that they've ever messed with the computer that I've been around is one time they were trying to communicate with me and they didn't want me to say something. You remember?
Yeah.
And so they were kind of messing with the computers to try and get my attention. Any spirit could do something like that, not just a fairy. Okay. Another time was when these girls were bullying me at work, and so the fairies messed up their computers, but they didn't mess up mine. Go figure. So these are the kind of things, like hiding things. Okay, I don't know who's had their stuff hidden by the fairies, but in my experience and hers today,
yes,
the fairies help me find stuff all the time. Yes. The only times they have ever, like, what you would say might have hid something is one time when I was working nonstop all the time and I was not paying any attention to them whatsoever, and they wanted to play with me. So I can, but most people can't see the fairies, right? So they hide something instead. And that's how they play hide and seek. Instead of hiding themselves, they'll hide one of your items and they want you to find it. And that's their way of playing hide and seek.
And getting your attention.
Yes.
Right?
So those, and another time that they hid, I couldn't find my boots for a whole year. It's true. The story, that song, Fairies Wore Boots by Ozzy Osbourne. It is a true story. They took my boots, they borrowed them for a whole year, and then I found them. Okay. They appeared magically in the same place that me and my daughter and my kids looked a million times. So they love to play dress up. Some of them, not all of them, but some of them love to play dress up. Obviously, I dressed up today. They wanted to play. So the baby thing, they do not steal babies. Okay. That goes back to folklore history. What happened was humans did not know they did not understand autism, mental illness, deformities. Mm-hmm. They did not understand these things back in the day. Okay. So they had to, in their mind, come up with some kind of logical answer for these things. So the fairies were not stealing their babies and replacing them with changelings. Those were still their babies. Those were always their babies. And it's kind of sad because they were really mean to them. But they just didn't understand. So that was a story told so humans could have a logical explanation. Yeah. But no, the fairies never stole the babies. Those were their babies. They just had deformities and all these other things, and humans did not understand it.
You're right.
Yeah. So no reason to be scared of them. Fairies are not just Tinkerbell. Fairies are not just for little kids. Fairies are dragons, trolls, unicorns, gnomes, watchies. Those are the Native American fairies. There are many different types of fairies. Okay. Are fairies good or bad? People are scared of fairies. Are humans good or bad?
Right.
Some humans I'm very scared of. I could be. You know what I mean? So there you go. Would you disrespect your goddess when you're putting stuff on their altar, what have you? No. So why would you disrespect a fairy? Do they get offended very easily? Honestly, no. The only time they will get offended is if you mess with Mother Earth. Like disrespect Mother Earth. They are all about Mother Earth taking care of her. Okay.
Well, let's be honest. If somebody disrespects my family
mhm.
or my friends, oh my gosh. I hear stuff that they share with me about somebody did this, and I'll go, it's so good I wasn't there at the time. You know, I've got a big heart, but my big heart, I'm also protective over my friends. You know? So, and this is Mother Earth.
Yeah. She is our family. She is the whole reason of our existence.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're gonna get offended. But other than that, oh, they're so magical to work with. You guys are missing out. Do not be afraid. We're always afraid of things we do not understand. But they bring so much joy, and I can't even explain their magic in words. It's so joyous. It's you connect with your inner child. You get to play dress up. You get to dance. You get to create. You get to have story time, poetry, so many different wonderful things.
Yeah.
So
I got to share with them. So before we went online, I was like, I better plug in my laptop so that we don't crash or not be able to do this live. And I was like, oh my goodness, I hope I didn't leave it in this place, this other place. I'm like, it has to be there. It has to be there. So Yvette says, gift them something. And we actually have a little plate, if you want to say, almost like a little miniature altar, just to honor them while we're doing this live, that she brought with. And she goes, gift them something. And I was like, okay. I went and grabbed something. It wasn't even a minute. I think it was like within 30 seconds.
Yeah,
I was like, oh, I remember where it is. And it was actually plugged in behind my couch, which I never do. It just so happened that I was working by sitting on my couch. Usually I'm at the table. And I was like, oh, and she goes, you see, that didn't take long. I said, no, it didn't. So these are just like a simple example of how that connection is. I mean, it goes so much deeper. And in her course, you know, she also teaches you, she explains things about energy in general and how to work with them and how to incorporate, like, I don't want to say like just like spells, but good spells, like things that are, you know, it's so beautiful. And the stuff in her course, the material that we have, it's like around 6 hours long. It is amazing. And she also gives you examples. She shows you how to do certain things. She like it's not just a simple, again, like I said, we're not bringing things, excuse the French, half-ass at this academy. We're really putting our hearts to this. What else do you want to share? Tell them about your background.
Well, I have many modalities. I am a Reiki master. I do angelic energy healing. I've practiced a little bit of shamanism. I've took a Harry Potter Hogwarts class. I joke around about that. I've taken many modalities. I am a person of many modalities, but I will tell you, I have learned from many brilliant teachers, yes, but I will tell you that I have learned the most remembering who I am and what I'm about in this life and all my other lives. But my main thing is, I woke up one morning to an enchanting voice that told me, you are a forced fairy witch. And here I am.
And we have the honor to have her course in our academy, along with Morgan and John and others that are coming into the picture, which I'll share with that a little bit more. Anything else you want to share with us, or the fairies want to share with us? Because I know they like to.
Oh yeah,
they chitter chatter.
They sure do. They sure do. They want me to make some of you aware that when you practice witchcraft or magic, that when you're working with the elements, that you're actually working with the elemental fairies, whether you realize it or not. So a lot of practitioners will refuse to work with the fairies, but little do they know that a lot of them are actually working with the fairies. And like I said, the fairies are dragons and trolls and all these other things besides just Tinkerbell. So
right.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, and they're all about protecting Mother Earth. That is our goal. We're here to get that word out there. So
thank you, Yvette. That was beautiful. I think they'll be proud of how you represent them.
I hope so.
I can tell you that straight up. I'm sure they will be.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's continue and let's speak with Mr. Lavender Jr., Big Bear. If he wants to introduce himself.
Hi, yeah, that'd be me. So I'm Black Bear. My Monday name is John Michael Lavender. Yes, the color and plant was named after my family. That is where it comes from. So I'll be coming on as more of like a in the future. I don't have my course is entirely established right now, but I have it all here. Right, first, hermetic principle is mental. So once you have the mental process and you have it all worked out, everything else is just formalities. So I prefer the newly adorned title that I have recently realized as mystical engineer. My background, I started getting into paganism at 13. So I've been practicing for 30 years now. I was part of a 13 strong sanctioned coven in Las Vegas in Wicca, full on Gardnerian Wiccan Bible. I studied that front to back, and I had to write all 121 bylaws by hand. Right, so I have all of the ritualistic high ceremonial steps, understood and memorized. From there, I branched into understanding more other systems, Buddhism, Taoism, I did Ching, especially like Nordic, Druidic, ancient Greece, ancient Egyptian, there's a dabbling, like most eclectic pagans, kind of do. From there, throughout academics, I went into engineering. Technically, my background is industrial engineering, and that just really resonated with me because that's just how I am, apparently. I understand methods and systems and how systems work out, the bottlenecks, optimization programs, and things like that. That's how I am. But to be honest, the engineering, and sorry, this sounds a little braggy, a little ego onto it, but the engineering was easy for me. I actually, through my studies, fell in love with advanced mathematics and physics, all the while still right there studying, pagan systems and, the not just the what, but the why into the things. So my playgrounds are thought concepts, the thoughtful mental processes, exploring all these very complex systems, both as a pagan and as an engineer and as a scientist. So I go down the rabbit hole and I live in the rabbit hole and I love the rabbit hole. The rabbit hole is me. So my course is going to reflect a lot on those aspects. To throw in the modalities of it, it's going to cover the how and why and try and establish a bridge to have that less of a gap in understanding. To me, science and spirituality are two sides of the same coin. That understanding one system is to understand the other system through a different lens. As above, so below. And
Yes.
by understanding that it is one system and that the universal language is energy, not mathematics. It's not mathematics. Mathematics is the model of reality. That is energy, that is the language of the universe. And I think
Right.
that is what all of our courses are really going to be touching on in some way. And that is for a reason. And my course is going to be exploring why it is all for a reason, how these things are connected,
Yeah.
and to engineer your mystical life. The biggest part of spirituality is that it is a personal endeavor. It is a journey with the divine, or however which system that the person going through that journey identifies with. So, like what Morgan said previously, that I'm not here to tell you what to do and how to do it. I'm here to provide you an alternative perspective for you to be able to reflect on and be able to take that journey yourself. Here's some tools on both spiritual and sciencey. Here's the tools. It's up to you to use them as a composer, as the artist, as the musician, as however which way that journey means for you. So that
Right.
course means a personal goal of the spiritual rather than religious, using scientific methodologies.
It's funny because I'm, people see me and I may come across maybe woo-woo to some people, or like I'm up in clouds, in the clouds somewhere. But I've always been very logical. And even though people say, well, how can you be so logical if you're following all this spiritual stuff? Well, because I can see how scientifically these things are matched. Like we're energy, obviously we have currents flowing through us. Everything has an energy. And I laugh, everybody's now going off about, oh, you got to do this is called quantum healing. Now, I'm not belittling quantum healing modality, the modality itself or whatever. I think it's great. My thing is, there's people saying, well, don't do that because right now it's the quantum. That's really going to make it effect. So don't try doing a Reiki or just go straight and do this. And I'm thinking, but everything is energy. That's what quantum stands by, if I'm not mistaken, John. And Reiki, for me, any type of energy work is, if you want to put it as a label in science terms, would be quantum physics. Now, I mean, you correct me on the proper way of explaining it, but go for it.
Absolutely, you're touching on all of it, and that's kind of the point of this course, of this program, is that it has to draw in all of these different modalities in order to paint a larger picture that the person taking it is going to have to reach those conclusions. Do the inner work to have the outer work be reflected into it. And that's
And know
the
what they're
mystical
about.
engineering. Right. We can, touch on, Tai Chi means energy motion, right? It means the flow of energy within yourself. Reiki is exactly the same type of
Yeah.
thing, a
Universal life force.
manipulation of
Yeah.
energy. Chi, and the I Ching with the Eightfold Path, can be used as a divination to help guide on these journeys. And everything has a center point. And and I'll touch more onto this in my course.
Yes.
But my understanding, my personal understandings, my beliefs is that the unified field equation is not actually an equation. We're looking for an equation where, when you're talking about a universal field equation that encompasses everything, it can't be just an equation. And I believe we've already found it, and it's the yin yang. So I will kind of cliffhanger tease onto that as to why that is the root kernel zero little few bits of processing that the entire system uses in all of its forms. But that'll be for the course.
That would be great.
Other things.
Mm-hmm.
Other things I will be interested in teaching, since this question that'll be asked, is I am interested in sacred geometry. I'm interested in both high ceremonial as well as shamanic and ritualistic, but personalized spiritual ritualistic forms that is less high ceremonial. I will also be doing a bit of storm magic on how to connect with, alter, and direct storms.
That is amazing.
I could do a lot of the typical things that if you would take an online course, I'd be able to teach. I have about as equal amount of library as my academic book, as I do on the metaphysical stuff as well. But I find the metaphysical stuff is more of a self journey, and you don't need as many books for those.
Yeah.
But having the stuff from like Buckland, all the ones from the early '90s, that Scott, and all that Gardner, and those are all nice. Those are great informational stuff. But I prefer more of a Sufi traditional, that it's nice to have tools and the understanding how to use those tools, but the magician doesn't need those tools. It is all about the knowledge. And with that, I'll go ahead and say thank you for having me come on with this. And I'm looking forward to having it be available August, September. Because I started living my magical engineered life, things actually started happening very rapidly, and I'm working towards getting this course, going from here to on paper. So thank you for allowing me this opportunity to do that.
Oh, thank you. I'm honored. I'm honored to have you part of our team, man. This is just, every time I kept thinking, if I could get somebody who's like into the science and like that could explain this or whatever, and all of a sudden, oh, by the way, this friend of mine is really into this stuff, and he's moved back to Pueblo, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, score, gotta meet this person. And when I met you, it was like, that's it. I know, it's done. We were talking the same stuff, and the things I was trying to say, you brought the right words to it. The scientific words too. It was actually fun. I'm like, I don't know what it is, but this is what I'm guessing, because for me, this is science, isn't it? They call it this and this and this and this, and I'm like, that's it. he's in. He's got to do this. So, really, really am honored. Thank you. So yeah, and the way I want to mention, we're going to have, every course is going to be unique. It might incorporate a little bit of something else. Rituals are very vast, so I'm not going to have only one course on rituals. I'm going to have many different ones, but they're going to be the way these individuals bring it forth. So their way of doing it. And like Morgan was saying earlier about the crystals, there's so many different courses out there or books that you could read on about crystals. So please do not assume it's, oh, I've done this, never mind. Look at it. We're going to have a description on these things. We're going to have an explanation on it. And if you resonate with it, go for it. And it's the same. I mean, it's the same for later on, I'm hoping that Yvette will do some other courses, which she'll be explaining also a bit, maybe on the different, getting more into it, maybe on how to work with dragons, or maybe how to work with, even though they're all part of, and it's similar, but maybe her to bring something a little bit more focused on a specific type. We'll see. But she also is going to be bringing other techniques and things from her experience. And I'm just going to get now to my side of it. So, like I said to you guys, I'm one of the instructors. I am a Reiki master teacher. I've done Reiki levels 1 and 2 twice. And then I did my Reiki master teacher, which was basically Reiki master and master teacher in one. I am going to be teaching it all different levels. I've already got the first one out on the platform. I'm currently I'm almost done with the second one, I would say 2/3. And then by the end of this year, I'm hoping to have the master teacher out. What I am going to explain is my Reiki classes are very much in depth. And even though those that go and do Reiki classes and including the ones I've done, they didn't get tests, but they obviously did practical. They had to practice on recipients. They did what do you call it? Complementary work to increase their hours, because it's obviously you have to earn your time, because that shows your experience. So in my course, yes, you are going to be required to do that. It's not like you're going to be doing a Reiki level 1, a Reiki level 2, and then expecting to go straight into master. There is going to be a bit of a period where you're not going to be able to do master until you're able to actually practice, and you will then give feedback on that. But each of my courses, there are going to be quizzes throughout the course. My course is around, I want to say it's an 8-hour course if you follow the regiment the way you're supposed to follow it. And yeah, there's a quiz. And once you've finished all the quizzes, there is a pre-recorded attunement, which I did. And for those that feel a little bit controversial about that, I get where you're coming from. But with distance Reiki, which there is no space or time with that, you can access any time, any space, any dimension. You can tap in with Reiki energy and put the intention. So when I did the attunement, I literally went in with the intention that the person who's completed the course, that has completed the test, because you won't even be able to get there unless you've passed the tests and you've watched everything. Okay. I don't want to have people see this as a quick get certified quick and then move on. You have to understand what you're learning, and that's what most of these courses are about as well. We have quizzes in them, and once you've completed this, you go straight to the attunement. The attunement is there with the intention that who's ever gone through the process, that attunement is going to reach them, and you would be watching the attunement. It is a distorted image, because I don't want people to see me, doing what I'm doing and expecting they can go and mimic it, and meanwhile they're not understanding what they're doing. So it is pixelated for that purpose. And then once everybody's completed their courses, whatever course, whether it's mine or anybody else's, you will get a PDF emailed to you immediately from the platform with your certification. So yes, maybe we're not recognized out there with the government or the state, but I can tell you right now, at least you did the work, and you didn't just buy the certificate. You really, really did the work. So yeah, if you're expecting just to do something quickly, I would really, really, really think about it before you do any of our courses, because we want you to take it to heart and actually learn from it. You know, you put your money there, hard-earned money. You want to make sure you're taking quality out of that. Our fees are quite reasonable as well. We, again, I'm not trying to be exactly like market related, but close. But like I said, for those today who either subscribe on YouTube or register on the website or follow me, that are on this live, will get a 55% coupon code. The other courses that I'm also looking at teaching is card readings, and as well as remote viewing. And I will also be teaching possibly on, more on psychic topics, but that I'm still trying to figure out whether I want to keep them in little segments or keep it as one. So that is that on that part. Then before we get to the Q&A, I do want to say we have a few courses coming up. One of them that I'm very excited about is animal communication. The instructor is working on that right now. Her name is Shirley Emerald, and she has been teaching this for over 30 years. This is not a random person who just happens to know how to do it and is teaching it. She has already a set curriculum, and she's even traveled across the country to teach. And she has honored the Academy by saying, hey, I'm joining in. I want to do this. And mainly because she is retiring, and she says the traveling is getting a little harsh, but she is so out to at least still teach, even if it's pre-recorded. So hopefully in a month and a half or so, we'll be releasing that. So I don't know if we have any questions. No? Well, I have, there was a question I had for you, Yvette, which I don't know if we covered it in our chat. Oh, this is what I wanted to ask you. Are fairies only, like, I know you said they're not just for kids, but why? Like, because I mean, the first thing I first saw was like when I was like looking at like some stuff that you do, I think, oh my gosh, energetically that feels so good, but that's, I don't know if I really want to do that. Or is this, like, how does it relate? And I remember the explaining about how it could help with the inner child or something. Well, maybe you could just just briefly mention that.
How they connect with the inner child.
Yeah, especially their playfulness, how that can help us, especially us with trauma.
Right. And that's probably why people relate fairies to children, is because they are very childlike. They don't have any rules, none whatsoever. Like I said, unless just take care of mother. Like, other than that, they don't have any rules. So if you want to connect with your inner child, they are the perfect spirit to do so with them.
Yeah.
They love to dance, to sing, to play. Like I said, story time. They love music, poetry, anything that's playful. They're all about it. So,
and the fact that they are just themselves. They don't have like these certain expectations, except for the fact of respecting Mother Earth.
mm-hmm.
But they don't have judgment, and they don't care what people think about them in reality.
No.
Yeah. And a lot of us, when we were children, we came with that same type of thought.
Mm-hmm.
But as we grew up, because of society, and putting pressure even within our own homes because of they were taught that way from society. It kind of like basically suppressed that.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people I know, I speak to, like, how many people I know, they say, I had to grow up very fast. I didn't even get a chance to really enjoy my childhood. And
I could honestly say,
and I think this would be great for like helping them to reconnect and heal that inner child.
Right. I could honestly say that I have healed my inner child. I mean, even at that age of a teenager, how you feel so free, you know, just to do whatever you want and not caring what anyone thinks in the entire world. I mean, some teenagers are very particular about what they look like and what people think, but there's always some point in your life that you just want to be free and express yourself and do whatever you want to do and not have to worry about what anyone else thinks about it.
Right.
Yeah.
And since you're next to me as well, I mean, and I think John and Morgan would agree on this. The things that we're teaching, a lot of these things you can actually incorporate with other stuff. So, like, I can incorporate Reiki with other modalities that I'm doing, with my channeling that I do, since I'm a trance, going into a trance type of trance channeler. And to give you guys a background too on that, because I much into it, but I grew up in a very spirit fundamental Christian church or churches, because we moved around, but it was all similar. And if you want to say Pentecostal or charismatic, and though I'm glad that I broke away from that mindset, it was such a beautiful tool that paved the way for my spiritual journey, because that was where I learned to connect spiritually. And the things that we just, everything was different. It was in the name of Jesus, in the name of God. You know, we were still known as empty vessels, that we were lucky that even if God glanced at us, you know what I mean? Meanwhile, we are part of God. We are part of Source. We are co-creators. We are one. We are all connected. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what modality you use. Really, the one that you're led to is the right modality. If somebody said, well, how do I know it's the right one? It's the one you resonate with. It's the one that you connect with. And I got news for you. You might be connecting with a heck of a lot of different ones. Look at Yvette's background. Look at John's. Look at Morgan's. Look at mine. I don't just mainly focus on Reiki. I mean, I started off with channeling, and I did that at the age of 12, and I was known as a young prophet. And we were taught to do prayer for people and do long distance prayer for people, and even do deliverances, if you want to put it that way, which today it's clearings, it's cleansing. It's so we all come with a different background. And one thing I know is that I can incorporate a lot of these things with each other, you know. So I want to put that out there, guys. Don't get stuck in the mindset that it has to be this or nothing. Trust me, if you're going to be going on this journey of enlightenment, it's all about flow. It is all about going with your heart's desire. It's all about going with your gut feel and everything, even though on the other side there's no space or time for them. But at the end of the day, in our realm and where we are, it is about timing with certain things. Just remember, the universe is going to bring it as it needs to. So go with the flow, go as you're led, and honor your desires, honor your dreams. Do not put limitations on your dreams. Don't say, okay, well, I need to create a dream for myself, but I can't do that because I don't have a reliable car. I can't do this because I don't earn enough money. Listen, dreaming means putting your heart's desire out there without putting it on limitations according to your current circumstance. Get out there and put it out there. Manifest it. That's part of manifestation, is dreaming and getting excited. So you just got a glimpse of who we are. And I know we're still small, and I'm not saying, oh, we're going to be huge. I really don't care about that. I just care about having this available for those that want a little bit of light shine on their paths as they're growing. And if you have grown and you are experienced, please reach out to us, whether it's through a comment or through a direct message. But I do have my email and the website. Please reach out to me if you feel led that you have something that you want to teach, and it's something that could help other people. It doesn't matter if it's only 5 people. It doesn't matter if it's for 2,000 people. At the end of the day, you've been shown this, and if we match and we resonate with each other, we'll be more than honored to host your stuff on our platform. So, any other questions now? Anybody want to leave with a last comment, Morgan? Nope, you're good. And John, are you good? Okay, so we're all good. And are you excited? I'm excited.
I'm excited, and I'm most likely will end up teaching other stuff too as well, because
Good.
I threw a little bit of stuff in there.
Yeah, that's not just
that were not very related. So
they complement each other. Mm-hmm. So that's,
like you said, everything kind of blends in together. Even like you said, the religion thing, like I still use blessed candles as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that is one thing, like I said, the fairies do not have rules. That is one thing you should be very open-minded when you work with them, and probably anything else.
You're right. There's like, well, it's not like you have to be a witch to do this and this and this.
Right.
You don't, again, all of these restrictions are man-made. Guys, we got to get out of that at some stage in our lives, but honor those traditions and things that were there for us to at least get to where we are today. Yeah. All right. I love you all. Thank you so much. And we want to thank Emily for assisting us and moderating today. You're such a blessing. And yeah, all the best, everybody. Now